You are never going to get onto a remote sales role if you're making any of these mistakes when you're reaching out to business owners. Outreach is a perfectly valid way of getting yourself in front of business owners, a perfectly valid way of getting yourself onto remote sales roles. But most people run outreach in a way which is just absolutely terrible. At best, it's laughable, it makes them forgettable, and at worst, it makes them look like a scammer, somebody that no one could ever possibly trust to work on their sales team or on their team, full stop, for that matter. If you're making any of these mistakes when you're running outreach, honestly, you are literally wasting your time. So I'm going to show you exactly what they are, how you can avoid them, and what is a better approach. And the way that I'm going to show you this is with somebody who reached out to me looking to work on my sales team. Even with my relatively small following on Instagram, my inbox is inundated with people reaching out to me, not because they want to work with me, but because they want to work on my sales team. They want to work in my business. I'm going to break down one of these approaches right now, and we can show you everywhere where this person went wrong so that you don't have to make those same mistakes. So let's get straight into it without further ado. First of all, you'll see here the account in question. Now, there's a few things that we need to break down here, right? First of all, let me show the message, because that is where this entire thing started, right? Back on the 31st of July, pay attention to that date because we're going to talk about it later. Hi, bro. Hope you're good. Just reaching out if you've got any offers upcoming. On an offer myself right now, but looking to add to the resume. So this was sent on the 31st of July. It's now the 18th of August. Currently, at the time of recording, there's 280 followers on my Instagram page. So that is the first thing that I want to draw your attention to here. Even a small page like mine with 280 followers, my inbox is sufficiently busy that I'm going to miss a message from people regularly. I'm going to miss a message if you don't follow up with me, most importantly. I tell this to people all the time. It doesn't matter necessarily what level of experience you talk about in your outreach. That's like the last of your worries. If you're planning to just shoot one message like this and never follow up again, because I'm not even going to see it, right? This guy could tell me in this message that he collected £1 million or $1 million cash last month as a salesperson. And honestly, if he'd never followed up, I still wouldn't see the message. So it doesn't matter what he says in that message, first of all. Second, if I find it like I've done today, 18 days later, and he had said that, I would literally just assume that he was lying, because there is no way that he could possibly, in my mind, have delivered that result to another business owner if he thinks that this is an acceptable way to reach out to somebody. First of all, nothing against this guy personally. People don't know. That's literally the reason why I'm making this video, to help fill that knowledge gap. I have blocked his identity here as much as I can do, because I'm not trying to call this guy out individually. Honestly, this is pretty average for what I see in terms of people reaching out to me. It's pretty average from what I've heard of people reaching out to other business owners. But that's the first thing. If you're sending one message and then never following up again, you've already completely hammered your chances, and you're kind of wasting your time with even sending that first message if you plan on sending it and then never following up again. Following up in the most simple, basic possible terms is an incredibly important skill when it comes to sales. And as I say so regularly, the whole purpose, the whole reason a good application process works and a good outreach process works when it comes to getting yourself onto sales roles is you are demonstrating at every stage of that application process that you can do the job, that you can do sales, that you know how the sales game works. So if you're sending one message and never following up again, that just shows me as a business owner that you don't know how to run a sales process, which is a really bad look, particularly if you're a setter. Also, if you're a closer, everybody wants that holy grail role where you just get on calls with warmed up prospects and you never have to do any following up and you never have to work your pipeline. But everyone who actually makes money in this space does all of those things. Everyone knows that you need to be squeezing your pipeline for all that it's worth in order to maximize the amount of value you can pull out of that. And furthermore, when you're going to business owners trying to get onto these roles, you need to be putting your best foot forward and showing them that you at least have an understanding that that's how the process should be working. So first thing here, follow up. Whenever you send a message to somebody, the first message is almost irrelevant if you never follow up again. So key. Second thing, and we talk about this a lot, when I receive a message, right, from a random account on Instagram, I will always go to the page that sent me the message. And business owners are doing this. Your Instagram page doesn't have to look like a LinkedIn profile. It doesn't have to look like you're an influencer, sales influencer, or anything like that. But there are certain things that you need to be doing to minimize hiring risk, to make it look better. And to be honest with you, this profile was one of the better ones that I've seen, right? At least there's a profile picture. Oh my God, imagine that. Someone might want to see the face of the person that they're considering hiring onto their team. It's ridiculous how many people reach out without a profile picture, or without a profile picture that clearly shows their face. So first of all, do that. This profile picture wasn't too bad. I've obscured it because I don't want to make this about this specific individual. You also want to have posts on the page, right? This profile is public. He's got a profile picture. He's got some good story highlights, which I like, but no posts. And that immediately raises a red flag, right? Why are there no posts on the page? It just looks weird. It's not really that. In this case, we're not at the kind of level where I think this person looks scammy, but it's just weird. Why are there no posts on the page? I recommend at least 10 to 15 posts relatively recently. He's got good story highlights. He could literally just use some of these. But yeah, have posts on your page. Have the page public. Have a decent profile picture. Don't have anything weird in the bio. In this case, it's not too bad. That's fine. We've got a little graph there. I'd rather see that than some stupid joke or something like that. But yeah, I want to break down the advice that I gave to this guy who reached out to me. So let's look at that. I've listed them out here. First of all, if he'd looked at my bio, he would understand that I'm not a good target for him to reach out to in terms of trying to get onto a role. Naturally, with outreach, your conversion ratio is going to be lower than it's going to be when you're responding to ads. And that's simply because you don't know if you're reaching a business owner at a time when they are hiring. You're kind of hoping that they're going to be hiring. There's signs you can look for that it's likely that they're going to be hiring. Those signs are basically signs that the business is growing. Things like recent client wins, things like posts about their expansion, things like posts starting to go viral because the page is starting to grow, things of that nature. You really want to be reaching out to businesses that are, yes, smaller, because it's more likely you're actually going to get through to a person that you can talk to. That's a smaller following count, because it's less likely that your message is just going to get completely swamped or picked up by AI, picked up by a setter, something like that. So you want to reach out to accounts with a smaller following, but you want to see signs that they're growing, and you want to see signs that they're actually selling something high ticket. So look for links in the bio to what they're actually selling and read it, right? See what they're actually doing. This guy's wrongly assumed that I run a recruitment agency, which, first of all, just isn't going to help. So make sure that the page that you're reaching out to, the business that you're reaching out to, is actually likely to be in need of somebody for their sales team, and that it's actually likely to be selling something that is going to make you money, something that's going to be high ticket, and they're actually selling it already. First thing. Other pointers of advice here. First of all, and I really don't like this one. Hi, bro. First piece of advice for this guy: don't call me bro. Don't call anyone bro if you want them to take you seriously. I see so much of this. Hey G, what's up, bro? Terrible look. You don't look like a professional. It's such an easy thing to fix. Just don't do that. Simple as. I don't think we need to labor that point too much. Second, follow up. I think I've already beaten that horse dead. This message was buried even on my page with a relatively tiny 280 followers at the time of recording. I think that I've said all I need to on that, right? I don't have a lot of people following my page, but my inbox is bombarded with shitty outreach messages from people who want to work for me. Not just salespeople, people who want to do all sorts of things. The growth operators are rife at the moment, all that sort of thing. And it all looks generic and it all looks terrible. So cut the hey bro, and if you send me a message, please follow up. Please follow up, especially if you're trying to get onto a sales role. Anytime you reach out to a business and you want to work on their sales team, you have to show them you can do sales. It's not enough to just tell them that you can do sales, tell them you're hardworking, tell them about all the great experience you've got. None of that matters if they don't see the message, and none of that matters if you're not showing them you can do sales on them, right? This is a terrible way of wording it, but the point is you're selling yourself. You need to show them that you can sell yourself, and the way that you sell yourself is by following up. Very, very simple. Third, you do want to mention experience here. You want to focus your messaging on what you can do for them, right? I don't like the messaging here where he said, on and off for myself right now, but looking to add to the resume. He's telling me what he wants. He's telling me what his end goal is, what he's trying to achieve, how I can help him. He's not telling me what he can do for me, right? Look at this entire message is, hey, I want a handout because I want to grow my resume. That's basically what he's saying. It is terrible messaging. Just reach out if you've got any offers upcoming. First of all, it's bad grammar as well, by the way. But yeah, have you got an offer for me because I'm trying to add to my resume? I don't care. Sorry. In the nicest possible way. If you're reaching out to a business owner, don't tell them what you could do for them. Tell them what you've done, give them a little taste, hook them in with your experience, what your experience actually is, right? First of all, he's on an offer himself right now. Well, good for you, mate. I mean, that could mean absolutely anything. Always like to throw in numbers here. Always like to hook it with a number, with a big impressive number if you've got one. But we're focusing the entire messaging on what you can do for the business owner, what you want to do for the business owner. Essentially, you want to add value to their sales team, right? You want to help them make more money. Focus on that in your messaging. Don't focus on why you want what you want from them, right? I want a role. I want to add to my resume. I hate my job. I want to travel the world and make money online. Nobody cares at all. Tell them what you can do for them and give them a taste of proven experience that you've got if you've got it. That's the key here. And everybody does have experience in some capacity, right? Unless you have done literally nothing with your life up until this point, which is probably not true if you're watching this video. Fourth, send a video. Always much better, either in Instagram natively or sending a Loom video. I would typically like to see this linked, if it's a Loom video, linked in that first message, because if you can't send successive messages, at least it's in there and it's ready to go. But as they say, a picture paints 1,000 words. It lets the business owner sample your personality, sample how you express yourself, sample your communication, which is so important in sales. Even if you're a setter or a closer, it doesn't matter. Send them a video. Very important. If you can't do that for whatever reason, at least a voice note, but I'd much rather see a video on that. Finally, this guy needs some posts on his profile. We've spoken about that already. Once again, story highlights on this one were not so bad. I can't tell you how often people reach out to me asking for a job, asking for a handout, and they reach out from a page with no profile picture. It is such a bad look at it. So it's funny to me that people think someone could consider hiring them without seeing their face. I just think that's absolutely ridiculous to even attempt something like that, honestly. This guy had that handled, although profile picture could be better. I don't want to labor that point because I don't want to make this specifically about this guy, but that's the point, right? You want to be able to see your face clearly in your profile picture. It should be a good likeness of yourself. But there we go. First of all, follow up, because your message will be buried if not, and you want to be demonstrating sales skills at every stage of the process. Second, send a video. Third, talk about your experience, talk about what you can do for the business owner. Don't just talk about what you want from them. Have a good profile if you're going to be reaching out from that profile. And yeah, make a real effort to make all of your messaging personalized as much as possible. Okay, video should come as part of the first message, but you should also be following up with voice notes. You should be driving that conversation forward, demonstrating sales skills in the way that you reach out. And as a bonus feature to all of this, which honestly, it's arguably more important than everything that I've just described, is make sure you're reaching out and targeting companies that actually are likely to be looking to hire somebody. And you can tell that by, are they growing? And make sure that it's something that you could feasibly sell and actually make some money from selling too. You want to be selling something expensive. Make sure that what they're selling is expensive to tick that box as well. That's about all I've got for you. Honestly, outreach isn't complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated, but there is a right and a wrong way to do it. I think the biggest thing that the lowest hanging fruit, the most important piece of advice here is run your outreach like a sales process. If you're trying to get onto somebody's sales team, the best thing that you can possibly do is demonstrate to them that you know how a sales process works. And that should come through in every single step of the application process, whether you're responding to ads or whether you are running outreach like this. Hope that helps. Plenty more to come. See you in the next one.